Mentor Online Academy. Today we want to look at some of the month's study hacks, the ways in which you can make your understanding in mathematics to be better. One of them is through diagram sketching skills. So by sketching diagrams which are described in a question, for example, a triangle, a rectangle, a square, a parallelogram, or even a kite, you can be able to understand that figure better. Number two is by writing formula and mathematical procedures before the start of your calculations. For example, you can write the formula. For example, the formula of finding area, the formula of finding the surface area, the volume, the capacity, and such. You can do that before you start doing your question, so that you follow that method. Number three is through regular and consistent practice. So that means you at least do some questions every day. You can choose to do some marks, maybe 30 marks per day, 20 marks per day, and be consistent in doing that. Through regular practice, you are going to master how to do mathematics and to achieve a good grade. Number four is by completing assignments. If you are a student in a certain school, you are given an assignment, ensure that you handle that assignment very well and you are able to complete it. And where you have issues, you can be able to revise, you can be able to ask and consult, and at the end of the day, you will be able to get to know how to go about those mathematical problems. Number five is by using past papers for your revision. Always use past exam papers for your revision. For example, if you are doing INGC exams, you can look for previous years, maybe the last 3, 4, 5, or 10 years, and go through all those papers. Why use past papers? This helps you to understand the language of the examiner. It also helps you to familiarize, grow your confidence, and you'll be able to approach the exam that you are doing with confidence and get top marks. So always use past papers to do your revision. They also give an hint of what is tested and the questions which are tested in the exam. Okay, the next one, number 6, you can use group discussions. Doing group discussions is very important because you will be able to talk through what you have understood. As you talk to others, you also retain that in your mind, in your subconscious mind, and also that can be transferred in the exam when you're doing the examination. So always get involved in effective group discussions. However, when you're doing the group discussions, make sure that the group discussion is effective. Make sure that the discussion, you have a manageable group of maybe let's say 5 people or 4 people, but there should not be a very large group of 10 people or 15 people, because that will not be effective. Also, make sure that the people you are discussing with are people who have a common goal. You are preparing for the same exam. You are all serious in getting a good grade. Next one is being orderly. Having order or being methodical. And that means arranging your work in order. If it's a question with a numerator and a denominator, you start with the numerator, then you go to the denominator. If it's a question of the BODMAS, you follow the rules of BODMAS, and then once you do that, you'll be able to maintain order and reach at your answer. Remember, mathematics is marked stepwise. So if you miss a step, then if you are being orderly, then you can be able to revisit and see where you went wrong. Next is doing chapter reviews. After every chapter, make sure that you answer some questions, do some chapter reviews, do numerous tests at the end of every topic. This will help you to understand or to know, to get the feedback whether you've been able to understand a topic or not. And for topics where you get low marks after doing the chapter reviews, the tests at the end of the topic, then you can revisit that topic, you can reread it again, you can redo it again until you get the required grade. Number 9 is doing prerequisites before post-requisites. In maths, there are some topics which are taught before others. For example, if you are doing calculus, you do calculus 1 before you do calculus 2. If you are doing statistics, you do statistics 1 before you do statistics 2. If you are doing, for example, vectors, you do vectors 1 before you do vectors 2. So if you are revising vectors, it's important that you start with a prerequisite, that is vectors 1, and then move on to vectors 2, because the knowledge in those topics are related, and you need to start from simple to complex, or from known to unknown, or from what you have to what you do not have. That will help you to simplify your work. Lastly, number 10, which is also the most important point here, is having a positive attitude. Whatever you do is conceived in your mind. So if you have a negative attitude, there is no way that you're going to pass. There's no way that you're going to discuss. Even if you practice all those other strategies, the attitude will be what will lead you to get good marks. So have a positive attitude. Believe that you will understand that you can get those marks. So if you apply these 10 rules in doing mathematics, you're going to get a good grade. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and comment on our channel.